all. I want to thank everyone for joining me here today. And just to double check, just want to make sure that the sound quality is good. I'm getting a little icon that it is, but just in case, if anyone's here and wants to give me a bit of feedback, if you can't hear me, let me know. And I'm just going to take a moment here to settle in before we begin, just in case there's anyone running late and I don't want to start without them. So if anyone wants to let me know a bit about them, possibly what brought you here today. My name's Sherry. I'm a somatic coach. I'm trained in a lot of different modalities, including somatic experiencing, dynamic attachment repatterning, embodied breathwork, and yoga. And I kind of take all of that and use all of that to inform my talks. So I've really formatted this so that we spend the first half of the time as a lecture. So I'm just going to explain to you a bit about stress, what it is, the ways I work with it with clients. And then the second half is going to be an experiential exercise where we actually play with some of the tools and get to experience them in our own body. Obviously, guided in a group like this is not personalized, so it's not the exact same as it would be in session. But, it's meant to kind of just give you an idea of what it's like to work with the body and the different interventions we can use, as well as tools that you can take away and use in your own life. So today, we'll really be exploring how both the attachment system and the nervous system influence stress, and how we can use practical tools to address the unmet needs of each for these systems. So stress touches all of us in unique ways. And our responses to stress are not just shaped by the events themselves, but also by the relationships and attachment patterns that we develop throughout our lives. Secure attachment provides a foundation for emotional regulation and resilience, while insecure attachment can leave us feeling stuck in cycles of hyperarousal, known as anxious attachment, or hypoarousal, which correlates to avoidant or disorganized attachment. By working with the nervous system to complete unresolved stress responses and creating corrective experiences to meet unmet attachment needs, we can foster greater internal safety and connection. So let's begin by talking about what stress really is. Stress is our body's natural response to challenge or perceived threat, and it originates in this ancient survival system. So just imagine if there's a zebra and it's running to escape a lion. Its body naturally enters fight, flight, or freeze state, which allows it to mobilize the energy it needs for survival. The freeze response, in particular, can feel like stepping on the brake and the gas at the same time, where energy builds up internally without a clear way to release it. In humans, The system works the same way. However, our modern predators, essentially emails, deadlines, and emotional conflicts, often don't resolve quickly. Our nervous system can remain activated, which leads to persistent tension, fatigue, or feelings of being stuck. This can include a state known as functional freeze, where the body appears to be calm and still, but internally, energy is really tightly bound, creating a sense of being immobilized, unable to act, while still feeling stressed or overwhelmed, possibly even dissociated. So, stress impacts us all at a biological level. When their brain perceives a threat, the amygdala, which acts as our internal alarm system, I should be touching here because it's back here, signals the release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. This prepares the body to respond to danger. But when the system stays activated over time, it can wear down the body, leading to issues like chronic inflammation, disturbed sleep, or even reduced brain volume in areas like the hippocampus, which is critical for memory and learning. So it's really common for stress to get stuck in the body, particularly in the context of attachment. When early relationships lack consistency, consistent safety, attunement, the attachment system can remain in a state of hypervigilance or shutdown. This directly affects the nervous system, which may struggle to complete stress responses, leaving unresolved energy trapped in the body. For instance, someone with an anxious attachment style may remain in a heightened state of alertness, while someone with an avoidant style may suppress their emotions, creating a sense of disconnection. So addressing these patterns requires helping the nervous system to complete actions it was unable to take. Essentially, what your body wanted to do but couldn't, as well as providing corrective attachment experiences to meet the relational needs that went unmet. Both are essential for restoring balance and building capacity for resilience. Neuroimaging studies have shown that chronic stress strengthens the neural pathways associated with survival responses, while weakening those linked to reasoning and emotional regulation. Similarly, attachment wounds and relational stress impact areas of the brain like the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, which are responsible for safety, reasoning, and connection. This can leave us caught in implicit memories. These are the unconscious, body-based memories of past experiences that arise as sensations, emotions, our physical reactions without clear context. And we can think of these as our triggers. When we have a strong response, but often we're not quite sure why, that's a sign that something implicit, something below conscious level has been triggered in some way. So accessing these memories through somatic practices rather than language, our reasoning alone, is really critical. Somatic practices help the nervous system to complete incomplete stress responses, such as running, reaching out, punching, hitting, kicking, protecting ourselves, things that we often don't do because they're against the rules of society. At the same time, creating new relational experiences of safety and attunement helps the attachment system to feel supported and connected. Together, these approaches allow the body and mind to release stored stress and move back towards regulation. So, unlike animals in the wild, which naturally discharge stress after a threat by shaking or running, humans, we tend to hold on to it. Again, society, there's a lot of things that just aren't socially appropriate. Or we're busy and emotions are inconvenient and we don't want to take the time to feel the nasties, right? So the problem is that the stored stress accumulates in our body, leading to both physical and emotional symptoms. To begin addressing this, it can be helpful to shift from simply understanding stress intellectually to directly experiencing how it shows up in your body. By engaging in even short practices, we create an opportunity to reconnect with our sensations. Begin to release stored tension and gently guide the nervous system back towards balance. So just take this time to really pause and check in with ourselves. Notice how it feels to come together in this space to explore and learn about stress today. Whatever you may be feeling right now, whether it's ease, tension, even a bit of resistance, simply notice and accept it. Not necessarily anything we need to change. Yeah, it's just a sign as a way to get to know yourself better. And just start to notice your relational patterns. So by bringing awareness to the fact that you're not experiencing this alone, notice I'm here to guide you, and you're energetically connected to the rest of this beautiful community. Just take a moment to notice what happens inside you as I say that. What is your reaction? If you experience resistance, allow it to simply be there and see if you can take in even 1% of my support. This exercise is designed to help you connect with your body. Bring awareness to your attachment patterns in the present moment and explore how small adjustments in attention and breath can create shifts in how you feel. So, whenever you're ready, there's no rush here. We have plenty of time. Just gonna invite you to allow your eyes to begin wandering slowly around the room. Notice textures, colors, and light. Pay attention to objects that feel pleasant or neutral to look at. I always tell clients, I'm sure this is a space that you've been in many times before. And given that, it can be really easy to take our surroundings for granted. The reason this exercise is important is because if you watch animals in the wild, if they've been chased, that zebra with the lion, right? And it escapes, and you watch it. These animals, after they've run or fought, they will stop. They slowly take in their surroundings, and they notice that regardless of what just happened, the threat has passed, and here and now, in this present moment, they're safe. Let's just allow ourselves to take that in. Looking left to right, up and down, taking in furniture, decorations, light fixtures. Just noticing that you're here in the room, listening to me, and regardless of how your day has been and what may be happening after this, right now, in this moment, we are all okay. And even just notice what it feels like inside to hear me tell you that in this moment you're safe. I'm here to support you, and you are okay. So when you're ready, there's no need to rush orienting. You can make this as long and as juicy as you like. But when you're ready, bring your attention inward. Just notice what you feel. Notice any areas of tension, areas of ease. Often we can carry tension in our neck, our shoulders. Maybe there's a heaviness or an opening in the chest, a tingling in your hands, a warmth in your belly. These are just a few examples. Whatever you feel, try not to judge these sensations. Simply notice them, bringing awareness to what currently is. Neuroscience suggests that labeling sensations can help reduce their intensity and activate areas of the brain associated with regulation. So when you're ready, We're going to place one hand on the chest, the other on your belly. And just bring awareness to where your breath naturally flows. Noticing if it's shallow or deep. Taking a slow inhale through your nose and allowing your belly to expand. Pause for a moment, then slowly exhale fully through your nose. Just repeat this 3 times at your own pace, noticing any shifts in your body. Breath-focused practices have been shown to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes calm and relaxation. As you breathe, observe how the sensations in your body change. Does the tightness soften? Does the warmth spread? Even subtle changes are signs that your system is beginning to regulate. Understanding how the nervous system responds to stress also helps us see the role of relationships in regulation. Secure attachment, whether within ourselves or with others, is key to calming the nervous system and addressing stress holistically. By cultivating internal safety through grounding and somatic tools, as well as experiencing external safety through supportive relationships, we address both the nervous system's need for regulation and the attachment system's need for connection. These dual pathways reinforce each other, paving the way for deeper healing and more lasting resilience. Building capacity for resilience is essential for managing life's challenges, especially when attachment wounds or unresolved relational stress are contributing factors. Practices such as grounding, body scanning, and visualization not only help regulate the nervous system, but they also create opportunities for corrective attachment experiences. By addressing what the nervous system and the attachment system each need, whether completing a stress response or feeling relational safety, we expand our emotional container, allowing us to experience life's challenges without becoming just completely overwhelmed. This integrated approach creates the conditions for healing, growth, and trust in our ability to navigate stress. So I'm going to invite you to think of your nervous system as a container. We can even show my water glass here, right? This is our container. And stress can fill it up completely. But with practices like body awareness and grounding, we can actually expand this container get a bigger cup, which allows more room for life's challenges without the water spilling over. So, one of my personal favorite practices, which you may not have heard of, or maybe you have, somatic experiencing is really popular right now, but it's called pendulation. So, pendulation is a gentle practice that alternates your focus between areas of tension and ease in the body. This back and forth attention helps your nervous system regulate and process stored stress, creating a greater capacity for resilience and balance. By staying curious and observing without judgment, pendulation allows your system to gradually find its way to ease. So, keeping in mind that this is likely a new practice for many of you, let's try it here together now. So, we're going to begin by bringing your attention to an area of your body that feels tight or heavy or just kind of crampy and tense. I'm going to take a moment to notice the quality of this sensation. Is it sharp or dull or constricted? Whatever it is, just stay with it for a few breaths, observing, not trying to change and not trying to hold on. Simply observing without judgment. Now, shift your focus to a part of your body that feels neutral or pleasant. Perhaps it's softness in your hands, ease in your legs, the rhythm of your breath. If some of you are coming in with chronic pain or illness, I recognize that can be challenging. At the same time, in my experience, there's usually somewhere that feels, if not good, then at least neutral. Maybe the tip of your nose or your earlobe, the nail on your little finger, or your right big toe. Just find somewhere that feels relatively better than the rest of your body. And we're going to spend time here, wherever that is. Maybe it's even your eyebrow. Wherever it is, I'm just going to spend some time noticing the contrast. How this feels different from the area where you were holding the most tension, the most pain, the most constriction. Bringing ourselves into resonance with that area of the body that feels good or neutral, or at least a bit better. Then, when you're ready, we're going to begin to gently alternate your attention between the areas of tension and ease, moving back and forth like a pendulum. You might even think of it as a playground swing, right? Back and forth between those 2 points. You can linger in one area for a bit, before consciously choosing to move your attention back to the other side. As you do this, just observe if there's any shift in how either the tension or relaxation feel. This simple practice, moving from tension to ease, activation to deactivation, helps your nervous system to find balance. And this awareness, this balancing of the nervous system, can release stored stress, building your capacity to navigate challenges with greater resilience. So, as we begin now to transition into our extended practice, I invite you to carry this sense of connection to yourself, to me as your facilitator, and the shared energy of this group. Together, we'll deepen our exploration of how stress manifests in the body and begin to shift those patterns with intention and care. So just see if you can allow this practice to be a space where both your nervous system and the attachment system can feel supported as we begin to settle into greater safety and balance. So, if you haven't already, we're going to begin by finding a comfortable position. Allow your body to feel supported, either seated or lying down. You can close your eyes if that feels safe for you, or keep them softly focused on a neutral spot in front of you. Just taking a moment here to tune in to the natural breath. Notice its rhythm, whether it feels shallow or deep, where you sense it the most. Possibly in your chest, your belly, your nose, without forcing anything. Gently allow your breath to deepen. As you inhale, imagine drawing in calmness and ease, visualizing a soft, warm light filling your body from your toes all the way up to your crown. Pause at the top of your inhale, and on your exhale, imagine releasing tension, allowing it to melt away into the ground beneath you. Feel the support of the surface you're resting on, your feet pressing into the floor, your back held by the chair, or the steady connection between your body and the earth. With each exhale, picture yourself becoming a little heavier as if the tension is gently flowing down and out of your body. Begin to notice if any particular area of your body feels tight or constricted. As you continue to breathe, just imagine sending your breath to that space, creating room for ease. You don't have to force it. Let's just allow space for the possibility of ease to come in. Just take a moment to observe how this process feels. Does your body feel more supported? Your mind a little quieter? Just allow these sensations to settle in as you continue to rest here for another minute. When you're ready, allow your attention to gently settle on your feet. Feel the connection they make with the floor or the weight of your legs if they're resting on a surface. Notice any sensations here. Perhaps a subtle tingling, a sense of warmth or coolness, or even numbness. There's no need to change anything. Just observe. If it feels comfortable, imagine your breath traveling all the way down to your feet, filling them with a sense of ease and grounding. Just linger here for a moment before moving your attention slowly upwards to your ankles. Notice how this part of your body feels. Is there a tightness or flexibility? Continue this journey through your calves, exploring whether they feel soft or tense or neutral. Allow your awareness to rest in each area, giving it time to fully be noticed. Move your focus to your knees. perhaps you sense a heaviness or a lightness here. Allow your breath to gently connect with whatever arises. From here, shift your attention to your thighs, exploring their sensations and the way they feel supported by the surface beneath you. Allow the support to be a source of comfort. When you're ready, bring your awareness to your hips and pelvis. Take your time here, noticing whether this area feels open, restricted, or somewhere in between. Just imagine creating space with your breath, gently expanding this part of your body. Gradually, we move upward to your low back and abdomen. Just notice, is there movement here as you breathe? Can you sense any tightness or fluttering? Allow your breath to flow to these areas without trying to change anything. Continue up to your chest, feeling the rise and fall with each inhale and exhale. Spend a few moments noticing how your chest moves in rhythm with your breath. And if it feels right, allow this rhythm to create a sense of openness and release. When you're ready, shift your attention to your shoulders. Do they feel heavy, lifted, or neutral? Imagine your breath flowing down your arms and into your hands. Notice if there's warmth, tingling, or stillness. Finally, bring your focus to your neck, your face, and head. Observe any tension in your jaw, around your eyes, or across your forehead. Imagine a soft wave of relaxation washing over your entire body, leaving behind a sense of ease and presence. Remember, the goal isn't to force change, but to simply observe and allow your experience to unfold naturally. When you're ready, we'll begin to explore small, intuitive movements that feel natural in your body. And start gently rolling your shoulders forward or back, just noticing how they feel as they move. Is there tightness, relief, or something in between? Maybe you sway side to side, just imagining your body moving like a pendulum. Gently releasing tension with each shift. We can explore the sensation of stretching your arms overhead so you're reaching towards the sky or the back of the room. And just letting them fall softly back down to your sides. If it feels right, just expanding your movement slightly. Perhaps twisting gently at the waist, bending and straightening the legs. You might try shaking your hands or feet, imagining stress and stagnant energy being released as you do so. Remember, these movements aren't about performing or automatically doing what I'm suggesting, but about listening to what your body needs in the moment. Imagine you're mimicking the natural way animals release energy after a stressful event. A dog shaking off water, a bird stretching its wings. Allow your movements to flow intuitively, without judgment or expectation. Perhaps you notice a sense of warmth or lightness spreading through your body as you move. If an area feels particularly tight or tense, allow your movements to linger there. Possibly a gentle stretch a soft rotation, or even stillness as you breathe in to that space. Stay curious and allow your body to guide you, moving in ways that feel nurturing and easeful. Notice how your energy shifts as you continue to move. Perhaps there's a sense of relief, release, or greater connection with your body. Now, let's bring to mind a recent stressor, something manageable but present. Maybe it was conflict with a loved one, a stressful interaction with your boss, running behind for an important appointment, or getting stuck in traffic. Whatever it is, just call the incident up to your mind and begin to allow your senses to fill in the details. Remember where you were, who you were with, the time of day, possibly what you were wearing. If another person's involved, you can remember the sound of their voice. Or if you're stuck in traffic, maybe the sounds of other cars or horns. Whatever sounds were appropriate to your particular memory. You might remember if you were warm or cold, if there was any food involved, any taste, any smells. Just use all the senses to fill this in, like we're coloring in a picture. And as you do that, as you relive the stressful event, as if it were happening right here and now, just take a moment to notice what you feel in your body. What in your body lets you know that you're feeling stress? Often, stress comes with racing, cyclic thoughts. If so, we can recognize that as a sign, allow them to be there, and as we allow those thoughts to come in, just scan down and notice your body's response to those thoughts. How does that stress show up in other areas of your body? Possibly a tightness in your jaw, your neck and throat, shoulders or back, a heaviness in the chest, a knot in your stomach, it's likely a bit different for everyone. And this felt sense of stress often can change. So simply observe where the sensation is now without judgment, knowing there can be no wrong answer here. As you simply gather information, imagine giving the sensation a shape, a color, or texture. Perhaps it feels sharp and jagged, or possibly it's dull and heavy. What color comes to mind? Is it bright or dark, or somewhere in between? As you continue to breathe, visualize the shape beginning to soften. Maybe the edges blur, the color fades, or the texture becomes smoother. Picture this transformation as an organic process, unfolding naturally with each exhale. If it feels right, we can pair this visualization with gentle movements. For example, we might sway side to side, roll our shoulders, stretch your arms overhead to the sides, whatever feels good as you imagine releasing tension. If movement doesn't feel good, you can also just place a hand on the area of your body where the stressor seems to reside, offering it warmth and attention. Stay curious and open to what arises, allowing your breath and movement to guide you. Remember, the goal isn't to force change, but to create space for the sensation to shift or evolve. As our practice comes to a close, notice if there's any change in how you feel. Perhaps a sense of lightness, calm, or greater clarity. Whatever you experience, trust that it's exactly what your body needs in this moment. Remember, stress is not your enemy. It's your body's way of communicating what it needs. By tuning into your sensations, grounding yourself in the present, and expanding your capacity to stay with discomfort, you can transform your relationship with stress. The tools you've practiced today are always available to you. Even one mindful breath can create a ripple of calm. Thank you for being here and taking this step towards deeper connection and resilience. I invite you to carry this sense of curiosity into your day and explore how these practices can support you in navigating life's challenges. So that takes us up to the end of the hour. Just want to encourage you to gently end the meditation when you're ready. And if you would like to stay on, if you have any burning questions, anything you don't understand, or would like guidance in how to apply this in your own life, I'm more than happy to stay on and answer any questions you may have. I really appreciate everyone showing up today. The view I had for most of it, I was using a half screen because I use copious notes to keep me from babbling so I can stay on track for you. And so I'm just actually seeing the chat now. For the first 10 minutes, I thought I might be here alone. So I actually really appreciated the support of the hearts that came in. I was like, oh, I'm not just talking to myself. And so that really actually helped give me secure attachment, to be confident that you all were out here and hearing my message, and to really settle in. I don't know if you noticed the difference in how much I was stumbling over words or carrying myself. But yeah, I see all the hearts coming. I so appreciate all of that support, right, that we give to each other, that heart coherence. It just makes it so much easier to perform when we feel a net of safety. And this is a beautiful community to do that. I appreciate you all so much. So I'm looking in the chat now. And hello to Judy, Melinda, B, Ekaterina, Evie, Phil, and Anka. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you, Phil, for responding to Ekaterina. I'm sorry I wasn't seeing the chat earlier. You're so welcome, Judy. Thank you, all of you. And, you know, Ekaterina, it's really hard to move on after being used for your body. And it makes sense that that would make it really, really challenging to even consider somatic body-based practices like this. Because if our body wasn't safe and we were put into a situation where we were overwhelmed and we weren't able to fight someone off, we weren't able to flee, maybe we naturally went into shutdown because that was the absolute safest and wisest thing we could do in that moment, then it makes complete sense that the body wouldn't feel safe. And so my answer to you is that the absolute best way to work with your body is through support. So, and when I work with clients, we go really slowly. I have a lot of experience helping women after an assault. Unfortunately, it's really common in our world, especially as our definition of assault changes, right? There were a lot of things that were considered appropriate when I was in my 20s that we know are not appropriate now. And thank God we can say that's not appropriate and it's not okay. You might be interested in finding someone who does dynamic attachment repatterning. Diane Poole Heller wrote an amazing book. And I have all the exercises marked because I actually go through these exercises with my clients. And if you find a good, we're called DARE practitioners, capital D-A-R, lowercase e, not promoting myself, I'm just saying in general. You find a good DARE practitioner or a good somatic experiencing practitioner. We're taught to hold you in a relational container of safety, and we move very slow. So it's really about trusting and feeling safe in the environment you're in before you even attempt to go into the body, and then having the tools to slow it down. So I actually give my clients a little virtual remote control. We can pause, we can fast forward, we can rewind, we bring in competent protectors So I know I'm babbling on a lot, but I guess, the answer is to find someone you trust and to do it in a safe space and move slowly. Yeah. So anyone else has any questions, I'm more than happy to stay on and answer them. You can just put them in the chat and let me know. I know I brought in a lot of different concepts there in a 30-minute lecture. Some of the information is readily available. Some of it might be new to you. And maybe even just noticing what happens in your own body. As I shut up for a moment and pause, and we just sit here noticing if there's any questions. If anyone wants to ask anything and you don't want to put it in the chat here, you're more than welcome to reach out to me in the app. I'm sure there's a way to do that. I have a members area, different meditations, different courses, and I'm always more than happy to hear from and support any of you. So it looks like, oh, there we go. So I'm seeing my father was ill for 15 years, slowly getting worse. How to deal with that stress. I'm so sorry you're going through that, Eleanor. Yeah, that just has to be so hard, and I really feel that in my chest right here. And you might even just notice how it feels in your body when I acknowledge that that's a really tough situation. Sometimes life can be hard and things just suck, right? And even just acknowledging that, acknowledging what is and how it feels can be the first step. For years, there was so much spiritual bypassing that, and this toxic positivity where we didn't feel empowered to say what we actually were experiencing and to name our emotions that, like, I'm angry, I'm sad, this really sucks. And it's not that naming them makes them go away, but when we are unwilling to feel and acknowledge the suck, and we try to push it down, like you can imagine if you take a beach ball and you push it underwater, you can hold it down for a time and then it just pops up. So I've never met you and I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that you're experiencing a lot of suck right now. A lot of strong emotions, and society tells us that despite feeling these things, we just have to carry on, and you go out and people ask you, how are you? And your automatic answer, or mine is a lot of times, even though I do this work, is, oh, good, right? We put on that mask for society. And I'm not saying that you should or have to go around crying and yelling and screaming and whatever you want to do. But it's good to find a time and place where you can do that, where you can let it out. Something we do in somatic experiencing that's different from a lot of other modalities is we feel into, just as we felt into different areas of the body today, we feel into the areas of the body, we name the emotions, and then we ask that sensation what it wants to do. Maybe it wants to throw a glass or punch or hit. Maybe there's a sound. Maybe there's a sound that would feel really good that embodies that emotion. So if it's a sound, we make it. Now, this isn't, the sound is going to be different depending on what your body needs. But a general exercise I have clients do is to open the mouth all the way, as wide as you can. And as you do that, try to make an R sound. So, R, like a pirate, right? And if any of you want to try this, R. So often after I do that, I have a reflexive yawn. And that's because that's bringing the parasympathetic system online, helping to release tension and stress through the neck and jaw. Now, if it's a movement, somatic experiencing, we do the movement, but we do it slowly. So some modalities just have you, beat pillows or go boxing or a bat, and that can feel really good. But the most important thing, the two most important things for releasing emotions are, one, a sense of safety. That's why I often recommend people work with a trained professional so that they can hold that container of safety where you can feel these strong emotions and have someone who's there, who's trained to listen to you and support you. And two is we bring awareness. And the way we bring awareness to what the body wants to do is by really slowing it down. So say you're feeling all these emotions and you just want to punch something. Let's do that. We do it together. And we just really go slow, like we're moving through honey or underwater. You can close your eyes as you do it. Really feel into what it feels like to get to hit something. If it is a person, or if it's the illness, maybe it's the illness your father's experiencing, maybe it's the universe, maybe it's God, maybe it's the medical establishment, whatever it is. In this version, no one gets hurt. There's no reaction. Everyone's okay. All it is an outlet to be able to complete that response. So I would really suggest, just if you can afford to get help, because I know that caring for a parent is a big expense too, right? We have to acknowledge that it can be. If you can afford to get help, get support, someone who's trained to support you. If not, then instead of trying to suppress with, like meditating, and not that meditation's bad, but we don't want to use it as an emotional bypass. We don't want to use meditation to try and force ourselves not to think, or try and force the body into a false sense of calm. It's more helpful to feel into what the body's feeling, feel what it wants to do, that inappropriate thing that society says is not okay, and give ourselves the time and the space to do that with awareness. So I hope that makes sense. I can take one more question. If there's anything else anyone wants to ask. Oh, I'm so glad that you have a good therapist. That's really awesome. And I'm glad you like the R. I can show you all one more. And if you haven't seen it, this might just be a good laugh. If anyone wants to leave with a giggle, this often makes my clients laugh. So let me show you here. Got to give you a full body perspective. So you may not be able to hear me once I move away from the microphone. But if you can't hear me, just watch what my body's doing, okay? And this is, for those of you who know, this is called Breath of Cali. And it's really awesome for moving stress. I have clients and couples who do this together just to shift over to a giggle because it's so funny to look at. And now that I've built it up, it probably won't seem funny to anyone. But so, Breath of Cali.